Well, welcome to Unstoppable Real Hospitality, your host, Arjun Sella. Today's guest is Josh Kopel. He comes all the way from LA, and I want to introduce him. Actually, he's going to introduce himself. He's going to tell us all the journey, how he started in this business, and what he's doing right now. He's going to explain his failure and success. And meantime, welcome, Josh Kopel. How you doing?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm great, man. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm very happy too. Please,
R-
can you tell us your story, how you started in this business?
Right on. So I came up in this business. I was born and raised in southern Louisiana, specifically Baton Rouge, and food and beverage, hospitality generally is huge in southern Louisiana.
Hmm.
We're about 40 minutes outside of New Orleans, so Baton Rouge is the capital city, a tourist town, and so is New Orleans. So that's what I came up in because those were the jobs that were available. I started at an
Hmm.
exceptionally young age and then worked my way up through the ranks. I talk to people all the time and I say, restaurateurs are some of the most interesting people on the planet because we eventually become businessmen, but we all start out as busboys and servers and barbacks and bartenders and then work our way up through the ranks. So it's a very interesting dichotomy in this industry.
Hmm.
And so, I started out in Louisiana. I came out to LA with the big idea that I would be out here for 6 months. I would find a really cool LA concept. And then I would
Hmm.
bring that back to Baton Rouge and I would open it there and people would think I was a genius. Well, 6 months in, I didn't find anything. A year in, 2 years in, 4 years in, nothing. And what I noticed that there wasn't that sense of community, that sense of hospitality,
Hmm.
um, that good-natured familial feeling that you get from like the places I grew up with.
Hmm.
And so I was like, well, I'll just do that. So I spent a ton of time in like the Hollywood nightclub scene and ultra lounges and bars, and eventually I opened my own bar on Hollywood Boulevard in
Hmm.
2010.
How that idea came up? Do you have any
I
help
was
with
on
other
Beale
from other
Street in
people, or you did
Memphis.
it, you did it on yourself?
I was on Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee, and
Hmm.
I had only spent 3 years outside of this industry. I owned and operated a clothing line for 3 years.
Hmm.
When the market tanked, I got out quickly. I licensed it, so I had a little bit of money in my pocket,
Hmm.
but I was totally lost. I didn't know if I
Oh.
wanted to get back into hospitality. I had no idea. We're walking down Beale Street, a buddy of mine,
Hmm.
and there was this guy with this booth and he was standing in front of this restaurant. And it was a barbecue restaurant. He goes, hey, if you guys eat lunch here, and barbecue seemed heavy for lunch,
Hmm.
he goes, but if you guys eat here and it's great, you pay for it, and if it's not, I won't charge you for the meal. And I
Okay.
thought to myself, I could do that. I could get back into hospitality. I couldn't work for anyone else,
Yes,
but
correct.
like I could I could be that guy that stands outside and guarantees the food and beverage offering. And so I came back and through what was a crazy series of events, I
Hmm.
end up opening this bar on Hollywood Boulevard, and it does incredibly well from the day it opens. Um,
Hmm.
4 years later, um, for my sophomore attempt, I opened a fine dining restaurant, thinking
Okay.
to myself, well, I mean, how hard could fine dining be?
Okay.
Oh my God. It was,
What a challenge, huh?
oh my God. I was floored. I'm still floored all these years later.
Okay.
We've had it for almost, it'll be 5 years in December. Um, and the first year was an absolute nightmare. The second year was a rebound. And then by year three, we sorted it out. But it was in that first year that I learned very little when it came to how to do things right, but
Hmm.
everything in how to do things wrong. And it was really in that second year that I dug in and I decided that not only did I want to change my life, my personal life, as a restaurant owner
Mhm.
operator. But I also, I wanted to change the dynamics of my business.
Okay.
I didn't want to directly manage people anymore. I
Okay.
wanted people to directly manage themselves,
So
which
how you did
means
that?
it means hiring a lot of people and it means firing a lot of people,
Okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
It was about personal responsibility. And and it also, came up, it enabled me the struggles because we lost, I think I did right around $1 million my first year, and I
Uh,
lost, or no, like $1.2 million my first year, and I lost almost $250,000. My
but
second year,
how? Uh-huh.
with my
If
second year, we made, I think, $1.4 million, $1.5 million, and we lost 60,000, which was a
okay.
blessing
Wow. Yes.
compared
Yes.
to the $250,000 loss. Um, and then sales skyrocketed from there. By the end of year 3, we were at like 2.25, and then by the end of year 4, 3.2 million.
I'll say you
This
nice
year we'll
volume.
probably hit 3.6. We're looking at about a little more than that. We're looking at about a 30% increase in sales this year. And I
Wow.
figured it out. I cracked the code.
So
You
what's the
know,
code? Tell us
the
the
code
code.
the code is this. You're not If you're not making enough money, it's because you're not making enough money. That's the code. The code is it's all about top line sales. I
Mhm.
can't speak for everywhere in the country,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine, outside of, Los Angeles, New York, areas that, we're paying dishwashers $14.25 an hour, soon to be
Mhm.
$15 an hour. I can't imagine it's harder for anyone else to do business than we are. Uh, and so for us, labor is the devil. If your food
Okay.
cost is at 40%, like you need to fire someone and like bring in someone more responsible, right? Same with
Exactly.
your beverage cost.
Exactly.
That is just irresponsible operation. But if it's a labor issue, labor can only be solved. Like I have a 6,000 square foot 2-story restaurant,
Yes.
right? It just takes a lot of humans to run this thing. It's
Uh-huh.
also a scratch kitchen, a
Mhm.
zero waste kitchen. So like my guys are in there at 8 o'clock in the morning for a 4 o'clock service. It's
Hmm.
just a lot of work to do this.
Yes.
So either we could serve worse food, or alternatively, we can like increase the top line sales to where that labor makes sense. So
Mhm.
all I focused on were top line sales. And it was surprisingly simple. There was nothing that I did year 3 that I couldn't have done year 1. I
Mhm.
just didn't know to do it. And that's why I'm sitting here today, because I just want to let everyone know everything I did, because it works incredibly well and you'll make a lot more money.
Well,
Uh,
that's the key in every success. If you don't make no money, you can bring yourself up.
well,
That's
that's
it.
it. And like,
Yeah.
I know that there are some people out there listening that'll empathize with what I'm about to say, but like, I
Mhm.
didn't get into this to be a bookkeeper or an
Yes.
accountant. And
Yes.
like, just because we progressively made more money, like, year 3 was still a nightmare financially because I lost all that money year 1 and year 2,
Exactly.
and I
Exactly.
didn't sign on to like have people hound me for money every day and
Mhm.
stop my deliveries. And it was, it was stressful every day. Every day, all day, it was new people hounding me on the phone. And like, that's not what we get into this for. Like, I got into this because I like people. I got
Yes.
into this because I have a servant's heart and I enjoy being part of people's like special experiences, right?
Exactly.
Like, I didn't get into this so I could be like, all right, bro, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you $500 today, $300 tomorrow. Please deliver the milk, you know? I just didn't want to be there. And I know so many of us are there. Look at the failure rate of restaurants.
Paul,
Um,
I think you had the belief that your concept is gonna work, and you had belief on yourself and your kitchen
I,
that you're gonna make it.
sir, I am, my wife says it all the time, so optimistic that it
Yes.
borders on retardation. I have I have always believed, my whole life, I have always believed in a better tomorrow. Always.
Well,
And I do think that is central to inspiring a staff, you know.
mhm.
I mean, if we were just to dig right into it,
Yes.
the only way you're going to get busier is by being able to focus on making the restaurant busier. And the best way to do that is have your staff run autonomously. One of the things that I did when I decided to make this big turnaround is I sat down with everyone I employ and I
Mhm.
said, here's the deal. We're going to set a baseline expectation based on my core values and you guys being adults. And so
Yes.
I'm never going to worry about you showing up on time or in uniform, ready to
Mhm.
work. I'm never going to worry about you having your cell phone on the floor. There's just going to be a zero tolerance policy. Like if you as an adult can't help but like look at your cell phone in front of someone that's dining, like
Uh-huh.
then I can't help you. So you just won't work here.
Exactly.
And but you know, but I'll give you a great example, but you
Mhm.
also build humanity into that.
Of
So
course.
my cell phone policy is you can check your cell phone whenever you want. You just can't do it on the floor. So step off the floor. And then I explained to him the reason you can't use your cell phone on the floor is because we are trying to project the image that everything is about the customer. Everything. That napkin you're folding, that silverware you're polishing, that drink you're making, that everything you're doing is for the customer. And when you pick up your cell phone, it shatters that image because then it's something about you. And
Exactly.
so that's the lesson. The lesson here is talk to your people, explain to them why things are important. When I explain to them why I spent so much money building this restaurant, why I'm there every day, and why all of this matters so much to me, they get it. They get it because they're people. They're people with their own dreams and their own ambitions. You know,
Well, yeah, like you said, that you hired so many and you fired so many until you find the right people to work for you. They got your mindset. They understand your mindset and your concept, and that's why when you get all those type of employees, your life is much easier and better. It's better for them also, not only for you, because they're
it
going to make
is.
money,
Because look, one
and they'll
bad
be
employee will
better
spoil the
people when they go
bunch for
home
sure.
too.
Hmm.
Absolutely, that makes so much sense.
It
But
does, but
you
it's
learn the hard way.
right.
Like
But you know,
it's
you
so hard.
can't be lazy about it. I mean,
Exactly.
still to this day, I struggle with being lazy about it.
Hmm.
You know, there's this guy, he's not exactly the right fit. And so, you know, I'll just keep him for a while. And I always end up firing him, right?
Yes.
Always. Like, you know, in the first 2 weeks, and I say it all the time, we probably have a 99% retention rate after 6 weeks,
Yes.
hopefully after two. But in that first 2 weeks, we set the expectations and we grind people, you know, like, no, do it like this. No, do it like this. You need to do this, not that. And that's our job. Our job is
Exactly.
to train people well and make sure that not only the expectations set, but that they know why they're doing what they're doing. That way, there's very little management interaction after
Exactly.
after the initial training period. If someone doesn't like a dish in my restaurant, they're supposed to apologize for them not liking it and take it back. And if I never told them that, I would hope, because I've invested so much time in explaining to them that I want people to be happy, that they would know at a base level
Yes.
that they need to do that, you know? Like we don't have a comp approval system, and my comps are incredibly low.
Hmm.
But it's because I empower them. Like if someone waited 40 minutes for a table, like the host doesn't need to come to me and say, "Yo, can I give them 2 glasses of sparkling wine?" No, he
Hmm.
just needs to do it
Yes.
because he knows to do it because he knows that would feel good to him. And there's this baseline expectation that if you treat everyone the way you would want to be treated, everything will be fine. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
and it's so true. So once that was knocked out, once the staff was running autonomously, I then focused on like just building my business. The first thing I did was I looked at my open table. I'm a huge fan of reservation platforms, whether it's open table or Resi 7 rooms or whatever you use,
Yes.
it's guaranteed money. You know, at least you have that many people coming in that night. And my reservation software was set up like most people's reservation software by like a 19-year-old part-timer that I hired and fired like within the first 2 weeks of opening the restaurant. And I never thought about it again.
Yes.
The most important element of my restaurant, how people book to come there. And I just didn't think about it anymore. And so I dug in. The first thing I did was I forwarded all the calls from the restaurant to my cell phone.
Okay.
The second thing I did was I went into the back end of the OpenTable software and I opened it wide up. So for the most part, anyone can make a reservation.
Okay.
I'm trying to double and triple sales. And I don't really care how busy it is. And I don't really care if we're overbooked because I'm there and I own the restaurant. And there's nothing that I can't fix myself. Right? When the owner of the restaurant is standing in the middle of the room and someone's like, I'm fucking pissed, I can turn around and be like, I can help with that. Talk to me. Tell me what your concerns are. Here's my cell phone number. You call me next time you want to make a reservation here. Let me get you an appetizer and 2 glasses of bubbles. And you know what? Dessert's on the house. And they waited 45 minutes for a table, which is great because my goal is to overbook the restaurant. Right? You don't make any money off your first turn. You break even on your second turn. All your money's in that third turn. So you have to push the volume, you know? So my books are wide open. My books to this day are still wide open. And I really focused on like the nuance of like the reservation platform. I was classified as Cajun Creole, which is like 18 people in Los Angeles are interested in that. So I opened it up and I went Southern, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I got a bunch more people looking at my restaurant. And then I was like New American. And then even more people are looking at me. And then eventually I changed it to American, you know, because you're trying to cast the widest net possible.
Yes.
Right? And you've got to look, you know, especially when you look at like Yelp or OpenTable criteria, people are like, ooh, I'll go farm to table. It's like, who wakes up in the morning and goes, oh, I want farm to table for dinner tonight. That's what I'm interested in. That's not going to move people. They want American. They want Italian. They want Chinese. They want, you know, whatever. And if you don't fit into one of those, make yourself fit into one of those. I mean, at the end of the day, and I can't imagine more people have it harder than me. I'm selling American food in America. Right? It's just not, right? It's weird. It's weird, I know, but it's true. And it's not what people think of in terms of fine dining. But that's what we've done. What we've done is we've created our own category called modern Southern cuisine, where we elevate like these classic American dishes into like these works of art, you know? And that was our vision. But like, how do you explain that? You know, a lot of it comes down to the descriptions that you have on your website, on OpenTable, on Yelp. I always like to give this example because I think it's so true that there's always something to learn. I was consulting on this restaurant in Hollywood, and it's helmed by a Michelin-rated chef, like world-class chef. The description for the restaurant is his bio. And that's a mistake because they're not going to be eating him. Yes. They're going to be eating the food. So when you read the description of the restaurant, you still don't know what the food's like, what the drinks are like, what the overall experience is, but you do know everything about the chef. But that you don't even know if the chef's going to be there on that night, right? Because I'm sure he takes time off. So where is the guarantee there? You've got to paint a picture. If someone is finding you on Yelp or OpenTable, they're not looking to go to your restaurant. They're looking to go to a restaurant. So how are you going to differentiate yourself from the masses? That's really the question. You know, I encourage and you know, through the site, if you want to give people my contact info, I'm happy to audit their materials at no cost. It is the end all be all. You know, I'll give you another great example. On Yelp, they give you the opportunity. Yes, Yelp is the devil, but they give you the opportunity to put a slideshow up. It's like $21 a month.
Uh-huh.
So your choice is, there are thousands of people going to Yelp every week, every month to
Millions of
look
people.
at your site. Now, you can have your photography up that's professional photography that really puts forth the image you want people to have of your restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Or it can be some like 80-year-old woman on an old school flip phone that took a photo of your food half eaten in bad light. And that's the first photo that shows up,
Sure.
right? It's the best $20 you'll ever spend, right?
That's
Controlling the image that people see.
Mm-hmm.
And so nothing that I did cost a lot of money. Everything that I did took time and took effort, because I am in this, when I opened the restaurant, I was in the same position we're all in. I was over time, I was over budget. And at that point, I wasn't worried about the details. I was just worried about opening, right?
Yes.
Monetizing. And like, now is the time, no matter where you are in your business, to go back and focus on the details. Is your website optimized for mobile? Because no one's sitting in the desktop computer
Mm-hmm.
looking at your website. Everybody's on their phones. So if your
Sure.
site's not optimized for mobile, they're just going to go to a site that is. I do not believe in restaurant loyalty. I do not believe that you can't change someone's mind who is interested in going to another restaurant. It's easy. If your photography is better, if your descriptions are more compelling, and your tags are spot on, you're good to go.
And you do that yourself, or you have somebody's doing it for you, like a social media or
I am
website?
definitely not taking my own photos.
Okay.
Definitely not. But we do write all of our own copy.
Mm-hmm.
And we write it, and we rewrite it, and we rewrite it. And still to this day, I'll look at another restaurant's page and I'll be like, ooh, I like that. And I'll steal it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what we do in this industry, because we're pirates.
Yes.
So it's true. So, if you can find, a restaurant that is in your tier that you feel is further along than you,
Mm-hmm.
you look at what they do. I mean, look, the reason that I went with American was I looked at Neil Frazier's restaurant website out
Okay.
here. He owns Redbird, one of the most prolific restaurants in Los Angeles, and he's a brilliant chef. And I was like, I kind of do the same thing as Neil. What's he classified as? He was classified as New American. So I was like, well, I'll do that. That's how it started,
So now, how many restaurants you own altogether?
I own 3. So I
How
own the
you
bar in
manage
Hollywood.
all 3?
I do. I actively manage all 3.
Okay.
Because
They
I
are far away
position
from each other, or
what's that?
are they far away from each other, or they're around the?
The fast casual and the fine dining are about a block away from each other,
Okay, that's easy.
which is easy. And then the bar is still in Hollywood, so that is that's kind of a drive. But I'm not at every location every day, but I'm in communication with my people every day.
Every day, yes.
It's incredibly important to me to do 2 things. One, I only do the things that only I can do. That's it. I'm the visionary. I propelled this thing forward. I've hired amazing people, and it took a long time to get there. I didn't have a GM for years because I couldn't afford it. But as soon as I could afford it, I brought in a GM, and now I'm working with 4 hands instead of 2.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's not like I'm advocating that everyone hire this dense management structure, that like you hire what you can afford. And when I had to do it all myself, I did. And now that I don't. But I like to be at all of the restaurants, like during their peak days at their peak times. And not because I think things run better when I'm there, even though they probably do a little. I like to be there because I like to be there. Because I want to touch tables.
Yes.
I want to jump on the expo line and push out some food,
Yes.
Like that's why we got into this,
Exactly.
There's one thing that all 3 places have in common, and it's that there's no office. I didn't build out an office. All of the electronic equipment is kept in a closet at all 3 locations. So if you work, you have to work on the floor. And if it doesn't seem appropriate to work on the floor, then do your job. And your job is to make sure people have a great opportunity.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Wow.
That's it.
Because I know for a fact when I was working for somebody a long time ago, and they did hire a manager, and he spent all his time in office.
Right.
I don't know what he was doing, but
No, I mean,
that's what the
what do
restaurant
you
felt.
do? It's 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. What are you doing in the office? It's
Exactly,
crazy.
exactly,
And that's when the restaurant's buzzing. Like that's when, like that's go time. Those are the best moments to be in this industry.
exactly, exactly.
You know, another really big lesson for me
Hmm.
was if uh if I was going to make all of my money off people making a reservation, coming and sitting down in the restaurant, paying for their meal and leaving, I was going to go out of business. There
Hmm.
was there's at least in my experience, there's no way to thrive in this business, to make a lot of money without having multiple revenue streams.
Hmm.
And so, you know, I encourage everyone to, you know, go. I use Gift Rocker just because I found it to be the easiest platform. But you
Hmm.
need to sell gift cards on your website.
Okay,
You know, you need to reach out to, you know, the local companies that are doing filming and be like, hey, you know, you can use my location.
okay.
Catering, third party
Exposure.
delivery. Yeah, absolutely. Catering, third party delivery through like Uber Eats and Postmates if you're not doing it and you don't want to do it yourself.
Hmm.
Retail, gift bags, gift packages, baskets, the whole 9 yards.
Uh-huh.
And events. Events for us have been bread and butter. I went from doing none in the first 2 years to we're slated to do almost $1 million in events this year.
That's huge.
That's
That's huge.
huge. And do you want to know how? Everyone should go to my website, preuxandproper.com,
Hmm.
and look at the reserve/events tab. And you'll see there's a virtual tour and there is a beautiful events pack. The thing to remember about events is this. All you're really trying to do is eliminate anxiety. The people that are booking events are booking them for one of two classes of people, either people that they love or people that they work for, right?
That's
So,
true.
like, if you're booking the company holiday party, there's a lot of anxiety associated with that, a lot of stress. Or if, like, it's like a bridal shower for your sister-in-law, there's a
Yep.
lot of stress there too. And the best way to eliminate that stress from the jump is to lay it all out for them. My mama says that the six sweetest words a Southern man could ever say is, "Don't worry, baby, I'll handle it." And that is our philosophy on events. What we do is we have this pack that has beautiful photos of the area already set, and then a variety of packages based on whether you want a stationed event menu,
Yep.
dessert carts, a tray pass, heavy tray pass, formal seated dinner, and you know, and then we also set up the restaurant into. This is what was difficult was you have to you have to play hard and fast with the rules. My second floor dining room is just one large open room that's kind of divided in half by a bar. And
Hmm.
so and I don't have private dining rooms. So what
Okay.
I did was I set up the north wing and the
Okay.
south wing. And people were like, "Ooh, is the south wing available on this date?"
So you made it
And
more
they
interesting,
and
more
they
compelling.
loved it, you know.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you and look, I stole it from another restaurant that was doing it and doing it really well. And like you guys should go to the website and you should like download this pack and totally knock it off
Uh-huh.
because it works. All of our packages are offered at a variety of price points.
Uh-huh.
And everything is shot beautifully in a way that makes it seem inviting.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
you know, it has worked so consistently. It's incredible because events snowball, especially with
Okay.
event planners. Like
Hmm.
once you get known for throwing events at your location, more people will throw events.
Okay.
You've got to look at
Wow.
it as an advertising opportunity. A 200-person event executed well means you just exposed your brand to 200 people and you got paid to do it. What an
Wow.
amazing opportunity. And the margins are better, right?
Oh,
You just
absolutely. Yes.
you just crank on events. So like it needs to be a central focus.
Yes.
I also recommend that everyone reach out to their local tourism board
Mm-hmm.
and say, hey, I know that there are conventions in every city. You know, I would like to offer a 15% discount to everyone that's hosting a convention here. How do I go about getting that word out?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I use a ton of strategic partners. I use Rewards Network
Uh-huh.
that They direct traffic to me, and then they take a small percentage. Dinova is another great one. They direct traffic to me. They take a small percentage. All of these things operate in different ways, but to me, it's worth the 15%.
Of course.
An empty seat is an empty seat, period.
Exactly. How you solve that?
How do I solve the empty seats?
Yes.
Oh, again, it's just about driving traffic. I believe that it is very difficult to make an extra $5,000 on a Tuesday. I think it is very easy to make an extra $5,000 on a Friday or Saturday.
Yes, correct.
Right? Correct.
Yes.
But where's everybody's attention? Tuesday. Right? We're doing Wine Wednesday. We're giving away free wine all night long. Please come by and give us money. It's a poor strategy. Everyone's already out on Friday and Saturday.
Yes,
and is your restaurant under-monetized, under-capitalized on Saturday night? Yes, absolutely it is. When my restaurant was doing $12,000 on Saturday nights, I was like, man, we're cranking. Now it does over 20 on Saturday nights.
Wow.
You want to know why? I'm packed. I'm packed to the gills, and I'm getting 3 full turns out of it. And it's because that's where I'm directing the traffic. That's because people are already out. So once Saturday is built out, we build out Friday. Then I've got these 2 very busy services, and people can't get in, can't get a reservation on Friday and Saturday. So what happens? Thursday and Sunday fill up, right?
Yes.
Thursday and Sunday fill up, and now you can't get a reservation Thursday through Sunday. So what happens? Monday fills up. Tuesday fills up. Wednesday fills up. You're never going to convince someone to leave the house that doesn't want to leave the house, period. No amount of wine is going to get that done.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
Right. And, and you can build in safety and security in there. Strategically overbook your restaurant. But one of the things that we do is we black out 7 to 8 p.m. No one can make a reservation between 7 p.m. and 7:45. The reason being, that gives us the opportunity to turn the room, right? Everybody comes in between 5 and 7. Everyone clears out by 8. I get another turn from 8 to 9:30. And then my last turn is right around 9:15 and 9:45.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, you're doing so good with your restaurants. What's your plans? What's your next move? Are you expanding a different menus now on the restaurant businesses, or what's going on?
So here, I ended up solving one of my own problems. When I forwarded, I had mentioned earlier that I forwarded all the calls to my cell phone. And I was shocked at the volume of calls I was getting. I was shocked at the volume of calls I was getting at 9 o'clock in the morning. No one had ever answered the phone at my restaurant before 3 p.m. And if I was there and I heard it ring, I was like, well, if it's important, someone will leave a message. Nobody leaves messages except for salespeople. Like, if someone's calling your restaurant, it's because they want to make a reservation now. And if you don't answer, they're just going to call the next restaurant in line, period. And so when I started answering my calls, I saw a 5% increase in top line sales that week. I saw a 10% increase in top line sales in that first month. And I got addicted to it. So eventually the restaurant got so busy I couldn't answer the phone anymore. My wife went on maternity. I convinced her to answer the phone. And she did a really good job, and the price was right because she was free,
Yes.
But I couldn't figure out how I could make it make sense financially to have someone sitting there doing 2 hours worth of work, but over the course of 8 hours. I needed someone to answer the phone from 9 to 5 every day that was capable of booking out those reservations the way I wanted, capable of booking out those events, forwarding pre-fee menus, all of that. But I didn't want to spend $16 an hour, because it's skilled labor, on a professional reservationist to sit in a dark restaurant and do it. So I solved my own problem. I built out this software whereby one reservationist can answer the phone for multiple restaurants. And it takes the associated cost from $800 or $900 a week down to $250 a week.
True. Makes a lot of sense.
It's great. And so we developed this proprietary software to get it done. I poached the best reservationist in the city, and we launched. And I launched this in January. And over the last 6 months, we have 36 restaurants online. And everyone that has gone, we offer a 2-week free trial because like I'm a restaurateur, so I'm paranoid just like everyone else.
Of
Everyone's
course.
always hounding me for
It's very
money.
hard to sell to restaurant
It
owners.
is. It's because we're sold to
The
constantly.
ego is kicking a lot. That's the
It
problem.
is. Well, and there are just so many scams out there.
True.
So, I turned to my wife and I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer it for 2 weeks free. There are no contracts ever. There's no installation. There's no training. And like one day your phones ring and the next day they don't. Every week I'll send people a report, and I do, that itemizes your cover count, how many covers we booked for you, an itemized call log showing you everyone that called and what they wanted. And then we take that cover count, we multiply it by your per customer average, and we let you know how much money we brought in for you that week, that month, and that year. Everyone that's gone on free trial signed up for the paid model. Everyone that signed up for the paid model stayed. And you want to know why? It works. People are seeing on average a 5 to 15% increase in top line sales. And for a lot of people, myself included, that's the difference between losing money and making money. That's the difference between breaking even and being able to pay yourself.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And so through solving my own problem, I created this service which helps all of us. And it has been so exciting and so rewarding to help people, because at best, and I know everyone listening will agree, this is the hardest industry in the world. At best, this industry is a grind every single day. And none of us have really found many things that help with that. And this does. And it works so well, I give it away for free, because it works instantaneously.
You believe it. That's why when you believe in your product. So
well, and as a restaurant operator, like you see if you're getting busier, like I mean, everything that for sure, and everything that I just listed, all like the forward-facing stuff with the photography and the descriptions and opening up your back end, like I go in and I do that for all of our partner restaurants. Because like it's easy for me to do, and so rather than teaching you, I just go in and open up your back end.
That's it.
And so it's been so rewarding helping people that I think I'm going to pivot, and I'm definitely going to keep the restaurants I have, but at least for the moment, and it's a long life. But like I'm very focused on this reservation software. It's called Flow, FLO. You can check it out at justcallflow.com.
Or
I do. It's www.justcallflow.com.
How about are you on social media or?
I am. You can check me out at Joshua Kopel, JOSHUAKOPEL. I also have a website, joshkopel.com, JOSHKOPEL.com. If anyone wants to reach out to me with any questions or you want help, I don't charge. I really enjoy helping people. So anyone that's interested or you want me to audit your stuff, I'm happy to do it.
That's so beautiful. That's a really Southern hospitality. Right there.
We're all in it together, man.
Yes, absolutely. I want you to give a nice, I call not idea, but if you open a restaurant to the young new entrepreneurs, what's the best advice?
Follow your heart. It's not rocket science. It's really not. Make sure that you're enjoying it every day. If it closes, it closes. But at the end of the day, by choosing to be in this industry, we're in an exceptional position. We are a visceral part of the most special moments in people's lives. People come to your restaurant to celebrate anniversaries and promotions and birthdays. And we have the opportunity to be a part of that. And I can't stress enough how important it is to be present in those moments. Because if you're not there for that and you're in the office focused on the admin, you miss the point of being in the business. You'll make more money on Wall Street for sure.
That's a great advice. Where are you looking yourself in 5 or 10 years?
I don't know, man. It's so hard to tell. God willing.
Too young, huh?
I turned 40 this year. God willing, I'm able to continue this trajectory of helping restaurateurs. Because I must tell you, as nice as it is, like serving patrons on a daily basis,
Yes.
it is so much more rewarding to help fellow restaurateurs. You know, I can't imagine anyone's going to walk away from this thinking that I said anything mind-blowing. I feel like when you speak truth, it resonates with people, and everything I'm saying makes sense. You know,
Yes, yes,
answer
yes.
your phones, make it easy for people to make reservations, right?
Yes.
Advertise
Just
yourself
solve the
appropriately,
problems.
right? You know, but we just don't think that way because we're so busy. And so to be able to take that workload off of other restaurateurs is just, it's made all the difference in my life. And I get so excited every time we pick up a new restaurant. I get so excited helping people out, you know, and seeing the results of that. So in 5 to 10 years, I hope, you know, I hope I still have my 3 locations, and I hope that I hope that, you know, I'm still out there helping people.
Wow, that's amazing. You know, you have that inside you, and I know you're gonna be so successful, more successful. I mean, it was a pleasure talking to you, Josh.
You as
Hopefully,
well.
one day we're gonna, you know, I'm gonna stop by your place and, you know, gonna enjoy your hospitality. You know.
You must. Oh my God, I would
Yes.
love that.
I'll promise you that that's gonna happen
Excellent.
soon. Thank you for your time, and thank you for the advice you give it to us, you know, especially to my audience.
Hmm.
And I'll see you soon then. Take care. Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Thank you,
Take
brother.
care. My
Yes, sir.
pleasure. Take care.
Bye-bye.